Good evening. The goal of life is to make your heartbeat match the beat of the universe, to match your nature with nature. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospitals and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines.
Bahrain calls on road users to abide by traffic rules. Bahrain reported 0 cases of mysterious hepatitis. Marking the International Labour Day, the Shura Council chairman congratulated all workers and trade unions in the Kingdom of Bahrain. $500,000 fine and 1 year jail for violating people's privacy in Saudi. Saudi Anti-Corruption Authority arrested 43 officials. Child hepatitis cases rise in UK amid worldwide outbreak.
Before moving to the top stories of the day, let's see the latest update of the moment. Eid al-Fitr to begin on Monday in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's royal court, based on the report of the Supreme Court, said on Saturday that Sunday, May 1st will be the last day of the holy month of Ramadan and Monday, May 2nd will be the first day of Eid al-Fitr. In a statement carried by the Saudi press agency, the royal court said, following reports received from courts based on testimonies of those who are experts in the field, that the moon of Shawwal was not seen. Therefore, it has been decided that Sunday, May 1st is the last day of the holy month of Ramadan and that Monday, according to al-Qura calendar, corresponding to May 2nd is the first day of Eid al-Fitr. The Supreme Court congratulated the custodian of the two holy mosques, the Crown Prince, all citizens, residents and Muslims on the advent of the blessed Eid al-Fitr. Bahrain calls on road users to abide by traffic rules. The General Directorate of Traffic today announced that there will be high traffic presence during Eid al-Fitr holidays through monitoring main roads and junctions near commercial malls and roads of heavy traffic. It called upon road users to follow traffic rules, including the speed limits, especially in residential areas, and not to cross the red signals. Bahrain reported 0 cases of mysterious hepatitis, allaying fears of a mysterious hepatitis outbreak among children under 16 years of age, which is fast becoming a matter of huge concern in Europe and North America. The Ministry of Health has confirmed that no cases have been reported in the kingdom so far. The ministry said it is in continuous touch with the World Health Organization officials, and the available information regarding this outbreak in Europe and the US has been shared with pediatricians, infectious disease specialists, and other medical experts. Bahrain's housing policies outlined at UN high-level meeting. Bahrain has invested $3.3 billion to finance social housing projects since the establishment of the Ministry of Housing. The partnership between the public and private sector is expected to further boost housing projects over the coming years, said Housing Minister Bassem bin Yaqub Al Hamar. He was addressing the UN high-level meeting on the implementation of the Urban Agenda in New York, which also discussed the 2030 Social Development Goals. He highlighted His Majesty King Hamad's royal directives to construct 40,000 units, underlining the efforts of the government, chaired by His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, to build new residential towns and housing blocks across the country. Al Hamar stressed the importance of the partnership between the public and private sectors in further supporting the government's plans and programs. Marking the International Labour Day, the Shura Council chairman congratulated all workers and trade unions in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Shura Council chairman Ali bin Saleh Al Saleh has praised the dedicated efforts of the national competencies in supporting the development march and sustainable economic growth in the Kingdom of Bahrain. He stressed comprehensive development witnessed by the kingdom under the leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. The Shura Council chairman commended the government's programs to give priority to the citizens in the labour market, lauding close and direct follow-up of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, Crown Prince and Prime Minister. He also praised his keenness on backing the national efforts to promote the status of the national workforce and assert the Bahraini competencies and their high and distinguished capabilities. Marking the International Labour Day, the Shura Council chairman expressed appreciation of the remarkable role of the Bahraini workers, describing them as one of the pillars of any success achieved by the Kingdom of Bahrain. He noted that the Kingdom's participation alongside the rest of the world in celebrating the International Workers' Day is a tribute to them for their honourable record of dedication and hard work. Bahrain first in GCC to license SpaceX Starlink satellite and internet services. The Telecommunications Regulatory Authority of Bahrain has granted US firm SpaceX, owned by Elon Musk, the license to offer Starlink satellite and internet services in Bahrain. The kingdom is the first in the GCC to grant a license for this service. Starlink is a new and innovative service that uses a network of satellites along the Earth's orbit in low altitudes. This allows it to provide fiber-grade internet services to consumers across the world, including those in residential and commercial units, as well as ships and planes. This service will help to maintain the kingdom's position as a leading contender in the telecommunications markets, with Starlink being able to offer services to consumers in Bahrain and the wider region. Today's COVID updates.
COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers.
The Embassy of India hosted open house on April 29th. Indian Ambassador, His Excellency Shri Piyush Srivastava spoke directly to the Indian community at the embassy to address their urgent and non-routine consular and employment issues. Ambassador expressed his happiness on holding a physical open house after a long gap. Mission has been holding virtual open houses due to COVID protocols so far. Ambassador informed the community about the Mega Indo-Bahrain Cultural Festival being organized at BKS under the patronage of the embassy, which will be held from May 3rd to 14th as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and the Golden Jubilee of the establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Bahrain. Ambassador also informed about the visit of Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev of Asia Foundation to Bahrain for raising global consciousness on Save Soil event. Ambassador urged community members to participate in the event. To ease the convenience of the public, a special counter was opened to facilitate urgent consular matters on the gazetted holiday on April 14, 2022 to render the consular services. Most of the cases which were raised in the last open house have been successfully resolved. These included some of the long pending and complicated cases. The embassy assisted in providing emergency certificates and tickets to distressed people through ICWF. The open house was held in positive atmosphere. The community members, particularly the laborers and workers, brought their specific non-routine consular issues in front of the embassy's consular team led by Ambassador, for which solutions were provided at the forum itself. The embassy looks forward to next open house in physical format. Indian Embassy in Bahrain invited nominations for Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Awards. The Indian Embassy in Bahrain has invited nominations for the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Awards to be conferred during the next edition of Pravasi Bharatiya Divas to be held in 2023. Pravasi Bharatiya Samman is conferred by the President of India to non-resident Indian, person of Indian origin or an organization or institution established and run by the non-resident Indians or persons of Indian origin who have made a significant contribution to various fields. Now we will be back after a very short break.
The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahala. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
Welcome back. $500,000 fine and 1 year jail for violating people's privacy in Saudi. Saudi Arabia's public prosecution has warned against violating the sanctity of private life. Citizens and residents in Saudi Arabia have rights and guarantee established by the Sharia and other laws that protect their right to privacy, the public prosecution confirmed. No one has the right to violate and infringe upon people's private lives, the public prosecution said, warning that anyone who tries to violate and harm any of that will be subject to criminal accountability. Anyone who tries to harm people's privacy shall be punishable by imprisonment for 1 year and a fine of Saudi Riyal 500,000. Saudi Anti-Corruption Authority arrested 43 officials. Saudi Arabia's Oversight and Anti-Corruption Authority arrested a total of 43 government officials and employees on charges of bribery, abuse of power, and forgery. This follows 3,384 inspection rounds that the authority carried out during the month of Ramadan. The inspection rounds resulted in the investigation of charges against 189 suspects and arrest of 43 among them, so the Anti-Corruption Authority said. UAE announced 6-month space mission. The United Arab Emirates has announced the launch of a new space mission to the International Space Station that will last for 6 months. The Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center signed a new strategic cooperation in human spaceflight with Axiom Space, a leading human spaceflight and infrastructure company, Emirates news agency reported. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, said that the UAE astronaut program was launched more than 5 years ago. The UAE sent the first Arab astronaut on a historic trip to the International Space Station. Now a new cooperation between the UAE and the United States of America to send an Emirati astronaut to the first long-term mission abroad, the International Space Station. Heat wave scorches India's wheat crop, snacks export plans. An unusually early record-shattering heat wave in India has reduced wheat yields, raising questions about how the country will balance its domestic needs with ambitions to increase exports and make up for shortfalls due to Russia's war in Ukraine. The Associated Press reported. Gigantic landfills in India's capital New Delhi have caught fire in recent weeks. Schools in eastern Indian state Odisha have been shut for a week, and in neighboring West Bengal, schools are stocking up on oral rehydration salts for kids. On Tuesday, Rajgarh, a city of over 1.5 million people in central India, was the country's hottest, with daytime temperatures peaking at 46.5 degrees Celsius. Temperatures breached the 45 degrees Celsius mark in 9 other cities. But it was the heat in March that stunted crops. Wheat is very sensitive to heat, especially during the final stage when its kernels mature and ripen. Indian farmers time their planting so that the stage coincides with India's usually cooler spring. Child hepatitis cases rise in UK amid worldwide outbreak. The UK Health Security Agency has identified 34 confirmed hepatitis cases in children since Monday, bringing the total number to 145 amid a series of unexplained cases among children around the world. The agency said 10 children had received liver transplants but none had died, Reuters reported. Findings suggested that the rise in sudden cases in children may be linked to a common cold virus known as an adenovirus, adding that the agency was also investigating other possible infections, including COVID-19 or an environmental cause. The increase in infections comes after the European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control reported around 190 unexplained cases of severe hepatitis in children around the world. The outbreak was first reported this month in Britain, mostly in children under 10, and has been since identified in at least 12 countries worldwide. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayanan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.